begin the recording. Please join me to say this prayer. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, who has opened my eyes, which were blinded by the darkness of ignorance, with the torchlight of knowledge. And join me together with the Prabhupada Pranam Mantra. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vigna Vinasha Narasimhaiti Namani Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayatim Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram Om Tatsat. Jai Sri Sri Nitai Sundar Gaura Hari and Jai Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai Ki Jai. So let's chant these two mantras together. We will chant the Hare Krishna mantra 3 times. So before that, Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We will recap the chapter 10. Oh, just let me check. The Gita Mahatmya. Oh, we should discuss the Gita Mahatmya first. So this is from the Vaishnava Tantriya Shara, verse 19. Tasmad Dharma Mayi Gita Sarva Jnana Prayojika Sarva Shastra Sarabhuta Vishuddha Savishishyate. Translation: Therefore, the Gita should be offered all respects at all times and in all places as the inaugurator of all religious wisdom and the spotless essence of all holy scriptures. Okay, so that is quite clear, right? So the Gita it has a very special place amongst all holy scriptures. And usually when we read the Bhagavad Gita, the Gita we can also do arati for the Gita. We can put the Gita on the altar and we can actually do offering and do puja. So this is commonly done as well, especially during the Gita Jayanti day. Why? Because the Gita is accepted as non-different from Krishna himself. So this is the, the culture is, the holy scriptures, especially the Bhagavad Gita, is considered non-different from the Supreme Lord, right? So that's the understanding. So now we will talk about the chapter recap. Okay. So yesterday we did chapter 10, and the title was The Opulence of the Absolute. So it was also called the Vibhuti Yoga. So we talked about the different vibhutis of Krishna. What are his different splendors? How can we understand and remember Krishna? By understanding the various splendors in this material creation. So I won't go through these things. So we have already covered them yesterday. So I'll just talk about the key points, the key takeaway points. So the key takeaway point is mainly we are talking about Ishvara Parama Krishna. So what is the absolute truth? So Krishna now is giving Arjuna further understanding because Arjuna is the devotee, and the devotee can further understand the mysteries behind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we understand Ishvara Parama Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Controller. Parama Ishvara, right? Supreme Controller. And we also understand that Krishna is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. So these were the first points which we took away. And then Krishna, initially, he was talking about the bhakti path in previous chapters. But now, chapter 7 onwards, the bhakti path now, he is focusing more on pure bhakti. Because the bhakti path also has its stages, various levels, and we will hear about these levels in chapter 12. But so in those various levels, the purest form of bhakti is called Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means pure bhakti, without mixing. Mixing with what? Mixing with desire for sense gratification, mixing with desire for knowledge. So all this is good. All this is already part of bhakti, but we are talking about what is the goal, what is the purpose of the devotee. Does he want only Krishna, or does he want something else plus Krishna? So here we are talking about the definition of what is Ananya Bhakti. So that was discussed in verses 10:7 to 10:11 yesterday, okay, especially from 9 to 11. And the third takeaway point yesterday was that then Krishna, after talking about Ananya Bhakti, he went on to describe all the various vibhutis of the Supreme Personality, the opulences, various opulences of Krishna. So, he will say, among mountains, I am Meru. Among immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Among devas, I am Indra. Among beasts, I am the lion. Among aquatics, I am Varuna. So like that, he goes on. He's trying to give the idea to Arjuna. If there is anything, and then he summarizes at the end. The idea is this third point here. Anything which is opulent, beautiful, and glorious, or powerful, or strong, or majestic, right? In this creation, we can understand that it all springs from simply but a spark of Krishna's splendor. So the lion is majestic because it borrows a small spark of the splendor of Krishna. So, therefore, like the Himalayas are huge and immovable simply because it borrows a small splendor of the Supreme Lord. So like that, we can also use this to help us to remember Krishna. So whenever we see these things, we are able to remember the Supreme Lord. So this was basically the key takeaway points yesterday for chapter 10. Okay. So moving ahead, we will move to today, which is chapter 11. So chapter 11 is entitled The Universal Form. So it's an interesting chapter, right? So, that's in the Sanskrit term for it is Vishvarupa Darshana Yoga. So Vishvarupa, Vishwa means universal. Rupa means form. So the universal form, darshan, that means we get to see. So darshana yoga. Now let's try to understand the connection between chapter 10 to chapter 11. So in chapter 10, Krishna gave Arjuna a lot of understanding about bhakti, right? And therefore Arjuna confirms, yes, Krishna, he says, you have given me the most confidential knowledge. Because in chapter 9, it was called Raja Vidya and Raja Guhyam, the most confidential knowledge and the highest knowledge. But in chapter 10, Krishna is now going deeper into that highest knowledge. So having understood Krishna's vibhutis, having understood the nature of pure devotional service and the glory of pure devotional service, Krishna is now telling, from whatever that I've heard from you, now my illusion is gone. I can understand that you are the Supreme Lord. I can understand that, and I can also understand the path to come towards you. Okay, and then he says, I have heard all your inexhaustible glories. You have told me, I'm this, in that. I am among Munis. I am Vyasa, among Deva Rishis. I am Narada. Like that, you have mentioned all of these. I have heard all of this from you, Krishna. And Arjuna had full faith also. He accepted. But one of the reasons Krishna is, we must remember that Krishna actually put Arjuna into illusion because he wanted to deliver this entire Bhagavad Gita for the benefit of everybody. Arjuna was already a pure devotee, but he was simply using Arjuna. So now we can understand that Krishna is not finished yet. So though Arjuna is convinced already, right? But Krishna is not finished with his entire whatever points that he wanted to pass. So in one sense, Krishna within the heart of Arjuna, he inspires Arjuna to ask further, right? I have heard all that you have said, Krishna, but can you show me? So why this question was important? It's not that Arjuna wanted to see so much. He was already convinced, but Arjuna knew that other people may not be convinced. So, and Krishna also wanted that to be brought out so that he can show and convince everybody. So therefore, he makes Arjuna asks, can you show me? So after that, what happens, right? After hearing all this knowledge, Arjuna's illusion is dispelled and he becomes eager for darshan, to get to see with his own eyes that supreme. Of course, Krishna is directly in front of him. So then you may ask, Krishna is directly in front of him. What is he talking about? So he's talking about the vibhutis, because Krishna here is speaking to Arjuna though his form is all beauty, Sachit Ananda Vigraha, his extremely beautiful, all attractive form. But Arjuna wants to see some of these opulences, manifestations. That means he wanted to know, how is he great? How is he wonderful? Of course, there were pastimes before, but still he wants Krishna to show all of this. And in order to pass this point, Arjuna latched on to one statement of Krishna, which Krishna gave in the last verse of the previous chapter. What was that verse? That verse was 10:42. Krishna said, remember that verse, Yad Yad Vibhutimat Sattvam Urjita. Yeah. So there he says, with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. I don't need my full attention, Krishna is saying. It is simply just a fragment of my splendor, fragment of myself. So how do we understand this fragment? So previously also, I have explained this point that, Krishna is eternally enjoying in the spiritual world. So for the sake of maintenance of this, the creation, maintenance, and annihilation, and again the creation again of this material world, he expands himself. He expands. Remember, I've talked about this in the Brahma Vimohana Leela, where Lord Brahma becomes bewildered, right? That was in chapter 8 or 9, I cannot remember now. But there we talked about how Krishna expands into Mahavishnu and then into Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, Shirodaka. There are different sets of Vishnus which Krishna expands. And from there, from the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu who lies down in the ocean, from there, from his navel comes a lotus flower, and from there Lord Brahma is born. So, and from there the entire universe, one universe is created. So like that, there are different what do you call, creation. So here he's saying, with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So Arjuna caught on to this sentence. He caught on to this statement, and he's asking Krishna now, oh, okay, all right. You told me that a single fragment of yourself entered this universe. Now I want to see that fragment which entered this universe. So Arjuna is saying. So therefore he gives this verse in 11:3. Evam etad yatha tattvam atmanam parameshvara drashtum ichchami te rupam aishvaram purushottama. So he's asking, O greatest of all personalities, Purushottama, O supreme form, right? Atmanam Parameshvara. Though I see you here before me in your actual position, Ichchami te rupam, right? As you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. So the connection you can see here, right? From 1042 to this. So now he wants to see that. So all that he has heard, he wants to corroborate by asking Krishna to show. So I want to see that form of yours. So Arjuna is asking. And then we get the Vishvarupa darshan from 11.5 all the way to 11.48. So about 43 verses, all about the universal material form. So Krishna, when he enters this material world, right, he's showing a very unique form which is made up of material elements, right? And it's called the Vishvarupa or Virat Rupa. So what we can understand here, right? So Krishna is telling Arjuna, all right, Arjuna, you want to see, I'm going to show you this form of mine. And by looking at this form of mine, you will be able to see all creation, all of this material creation, you will be seeing in that form. And not only will you be seeing material creation, you will also see the past, present, and future, whatever that is there, all together in one form. So it's very difficult for us to imagine. So, but nevertheless, descriptions are given in the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is telling, but you cannot see it. You need divine vision to see this form. So then Krishna says, I give you now that divine vision so that you can view that universal form. So Bhagavad Gita 11.8, Krishna says, Natu mam sakshyase drashtum anenaiva swachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshu pasyami yogam aishwaram. So chakshu means to see, eyes. So divya chakshu, the divine eyes given to see. But you cannot see me with your present eyes, he's saying. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. Yogam Aishwaram. So now Arjuna begins to see. So this is the universal form. So that Virat Rupa, he sees so many he sees all the devas, he sees everything, because this is the material form, right? So material forms means he sees earth, water, fire, air, ether, and then he sees all of creation together, and he sees a huge personality holding with many thousands and millions of heads and millions of arms, all together in one form. So here's some description, right? 11.10 to 11.11. Anekavatra nayanam, anekadbhuta darshanam, aneka divya bharanam, divya nekodyatya yudham, divya malyambara dharam, divya gandhanulepanam, sarvascharyamayam devam, anantam vishvato mukam. Translation here, Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes. So here's a description given, right? Unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. So this is difficult for us to imagine, but to help us to understand a little, these descriptions are given by this is actually it's not Krishna speaking, it's not Arjuna speaking also. This verse is actually Sanjaya. Remember Sanjaya? he is the one who is actually recounting the Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra. How? Because he also has divine vision. How is it possible that this Sanjaya and Arjuna are able to see? Actually, only they are able to see. The rest of them are not able to see. All the armies and everybody else, they are not able to see this divine vision, because it was given to, I believe the Pandavas were able to see, but Sanjaya could also see because he had the blessings of Vyasadev. And Vyasadev, by his blessing, he was also able to see this divine vision. And then further description is given. Tatraikastam jagat krishnam pravibhaktam anekada apasyat deva devasya sanre pandavas tada. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place. So it's very difficult for us to imagine that. How can the entire universe, the expansions can all be situated in one place? It's bewildering. In fact, it bewildered Arjuna also. Later we will hear how Arjuna became bewildered. It's amazing. It's like the vision is cannot be described. Achintya Shakti of the Supreme Lord. Although divided into many thousands, so it's the entire universe was all focused within that one vision. And then after seeing all this, there are a few more descriptions about the Virat Rupa, which we don't have time to cover everything, so we skip some of the verses. But after seeing all these descriptions, Arjuna starts to speak. Arjuna Uvacha. Pasyami devam stava deva dehe sarvam stata bhuta visesha sanghan brahmanam idam kamalasanastam rishim cha sarvam uragram cha divyan. Arjuna said, "My dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the, so within Krishna's body, he no longer looks like Krishna. He's now huge and very large and many arms and many heads." So Arjuna is saying, within you, I see all the demigods, all the devas, right? And various other living entities, all other living entities, all of them I see within you. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents. I see all of them within you, Krishna. So that is a very important verse for us to understand that the entire universal creation and in all the living entities and all the devatas, all of them are actually simply a part of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Krishna is the Swayam Bhagavan. So then Arjuna's illusion. So we heard about how the Vishvarupa darshan was revealed, right? So these were some of the points. So we can go through them so that we can skip some of there are many verses, so we can understand the essential points of these verses. So first we saw that everything can be seen, including past, present, and future. We heard about that. Then we heard how divine eyes is needed to see this. And then the Vishvarupa darshan was revealed. And then after seeing this amazing vision, Arjuna began to give prayers. He himself starts to describe what he is saying, right? We heard that in the previous verse. And he starts offering prayers to this universal form. He's overwhelmed. And then out of awe and reverence, he's giving all these prayers. So from 11:18 to 22, 4 verses where he gives this prayer. So this is one of them. So we'll just pick up one of it. Rupa mahatte bahu vaktra netram mahabaho bahu rupadam bahudaram bahudam strakaralam drishtva loka pravyatitas tathaham. O mighty armed one, Bahu, Mahabahu means mighty armed. All the planets within their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. Now, what is happening is, because he's able to see past, present, and future, he is seeing that this vision is not a static vision. It's a dynamic vision. It's starting to change. The vision is starting to slowly change. So initially he saw so wonderful, wondrous, brilliant, but now he's seeing also something which is more scary. Something, he's beginning to see a vision which is now a little bit more scary, because that's the nature of time, right? From it has good times and it has bad times. So time is also one of the expansions of the Supreme Lord. So he's now beginning to see, starting to see that aspect of the Virat Rupa. So, and not only he is seeing, so here it's described that Arjuna is able to see, Sanjaya also could see, but the Devas are also able to see, including, Indra and all these people. They are able to see, and they are becoming also disturbed. Because why? Because no one in this world has seen this kind of vision before. This kind of universal vision, to take the entire material creation and to bring it all to one point, is a very scary, amazing, and overwhelming situation. So even the Devatas have not seen this before. So they also become perturbed. What is this? This is so amazing and yet so frightening. So all the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also are rushing into your fearful mouth. So Arjuna could actually see the future. He is able to see that the entire Kaurava army, all the armies, as even Bhishma, Drona, Karna, all of them are rushing into the many, many mouths of this Virat Rupa. And some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. So he's actually seeing the future. So he's seeing death. He's seeing the demise of all these opposing armies. And then Arjuna continues, "O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form," because he's actually seeing the manifestation of past, present, and future. And he's seeing the material nature. Material nature, that is, it just continues, right? There is no, you cannot say, like, if you say nature doesn't have any mercy. If you see outside, an animal may live or die. It may be eaten by another animal mercilessly. It may be swallowed just like that. It doesn't care whether it's young, old, whatever. So that aspect, that particular aspect of the material nature is encapsulated in this Virat Rupa vision. And together with past, present, and future, from the beginning of time till the end of time, he's seeing all of this concentrated in one form. So that's a very, very amazing and a very, very frightening form. So he says, "O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your vision is." So then Krishna, in that universal form, he hears the voice of Krishna, but amplified many, many millionfold. The Supreme Personality of God said, "Kalosmi." So he says, "Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all these people." So, the one of the purposes Krishna descended on this earth is because Bhuma Devi went and begged to God, Lord Krishna, in the form of a cow, asking Krishna, "Please, this world is burdened by so many demonic kings and demonic people. Please come and destroy these people and relieve my burden." So Krishna came for Mother Earth's request, and also the Devas, Brahma, together with all Indra and all, they went and asked. So Krishna came directly, and he enacted this Mahabharata war, where all the Kshatriyas from all over the world were concentrated in that one single battle. So in this way, he would destroy all the miscreants. So we heard that before, isn't it? I come to destroy all miscreants and to re-establish Dharma, because Dharma was lost. The moment Draupadi was disrobed in public, in the most civilized kingdom on earth, in the presence of the most elevated people on earth. So when that happened, then Dharma was lost. So therefore, he had to re-establish Dharma. So I have come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. In fact, there were millions of people who were taking part in this Mahabharata war. It was wholesale destruction. At the end of it, only 12 people survived this Mahabharata war. So the Pandavas, and then, Kripacharya, Ashwatthama, so like that. 12 of them survived the Mahabharata war. And then Krishna, after saying this, so this is time. So now from the Virat Rupa or the Vishvarupa, the universal form, now he's showing the other side of the universal form, which is the fearful, scary form. So there is the beautiful, majestic form, and now he's showing the fearful, scary side of material nature. So remember, this is material nature form. This form is material, it's not temporary, it's not divyam, it's not transcendental, because it's made up of material elements. Actually, in the spiritual world, in the Vaikuntha planets, there is no such thing as this Vishvarupa. It's only within this material world, this Vishvarupa is seen. So therefore, get up, Krishna is telling now in the form of the Vishvarupa. So since you have seen all this, the future you are seeing already, so all these people are going to die. Therefore, get up, Arjuna, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement. Purvam eva. That means previously I've already decided. All this is already foregone conclusion. Whether you fight or you don't fight, Arjuna, all this is decided already. They will die anyway and you will win anyway. So, very important instruction here. So here he says, "O Savya Sachin." Savya Sachin means, it's a name of Arjuna. That name means that Arjuna is able to fight with both hands. There are some people who are ambidextrous. Ambidextrous means, some of us can only play badminton with our right hand or write with our right hand. So if we can do both right hand and left hand, so Arjuna could shoot arrows both with right hand and also left hand equally. He is that expert. So the name he was given for that was Savya Sachin. So Krishna is telling, "Oh, most expert one, Savya Sachin, ambidextrous one. So you can be but an instrument, nimitta matram, in the fight." So that's a very important point. So you see, destiny is already prearranged. So it's important for us to understand what is that destiny as per the desire of the Lord. So we have to understand this destiny as per the desire of the Lord, and we can be an instrument in that destiny for the pleasure of the Lord. If we don't want to be an instrument, Krishna will find another instrument. So the point here is, better be that instrument and in that way please Krishna. So it's an opportunity for us to be utilized and get purified for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So that's what Krishna is telling Arjuna. Nimitta matram, be an instrument. My desire, my destiny, my mission is already, you ask for my mission, I'm giving you the mission. So therefore, now let's look at the points again. So now Arjuna was offering prayer, and he says it's becoming scary, right? And now he starts, Krishna starts showing the other side of the Vishvarupa. So this is called the Kala Rupa Darshan. Kala Rupa means the form of time. So it's a very scary, because remember in chapter 10, Krishna says, "Among all conquerors, I am time." And now he is showing that eternal time feature within the Vishvarupa. So it's specifically known as the Kala Rupa, scary. So Arjuna becomes fearful after seeing this, after Krishna declares that I am time and shows this amazing and scary form of the Vishvarupa. Arjuna becomes extremely fearful. He's overwhelmed and he's fearful, and then he begins to pray further in a more fervent manner to the Vishvarupa form. And this is captured in 1135 to 1146. So we will see some of that verses shortly. And at the same time, it's also mentioned that this form is never before seen by anybody. It's a very complete and special form of the material elements and also made up of time. So let's look at one of those verses. 1145. Adrishta purvam hrishito asmi drishtva bhayena cha pravyatitam manome tad eva me darshaya deva rupam prashida devesha jagannivasha. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. So simultaneously, this is happening, right? His mind is being stretched to the very limit of his conceptual. A human mind can only take so much, right? Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me. So he's asking, Darshaya, please give me your grace, right? And again, reveal your form as the personality of Godhead. Again, show me your beautiful Deva Rupam, right? Oh, and then he says, "Oh God of gods, Deva Isha, Devesha." So he's calling, you are the God of all gods, and you are Jagan Nivasha. You are the abode of the entire universe. So please show me by your grace, please show me your normal original form again, oh Krishna. And then 1151, this verse, we will just go through the translation. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, so then because of the prayer of Arjuna, Krishna says, okay, never mind, let this vision be finished. But what did he show? He showed that from the material form, he showed his four-armed form, the four-armed Vishnu Rupa form. After that, he showed his two-armed form. So this is the statement here. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, right? And that original form is his final two-armed form. He said, "O Janardana, seeing this human-like form." So this human-like form means not four arms, not 10 arms, not four arms, but two-armed form of Krishna. Seeing this human-like form, because he also saw the four-arm form and he also saw the Vishvarupa form, but he is most pleased, he is most attracted to this two-arm form. So very beautiful, Saumyam. I am now composed in mind and I'm restored to my original nature. So that's a very important point here, and Krishna will talk about this Swayam Rupa. So we heard about how Arjuna's illusion was dispelled, how he was eager for darshan to understand the material aspect, the vibhuti of the material aspect of the Supreme Lord, and Krishna obliged Arjuna. He showed that Vishvarupa darshan. He saw the amazing part of it, and he also saw the Kala Rupa, or the scary part of it, right? And he also saw past, present, and future. And Krishna revealed, I am time. And he also said, be an instrument. My mission is clear to you now. So, but you please be an instrument. So then, after that, Arjuna prayed for his original form to be shown again. This Vishvarupa darshan is unhinging his mind. So then, by the prayer and by his grace, Krishna revealed the four-arm form. After that, he revealed this beautiful Saumyam two-arm form of the Supreme Personality, Swayam Bhagavan, Sri Krishna. So 1149 to 1155, Krishna is now going to speak more about this two-arm form of his, this special form of Krishna. So let's see what he has to say. So we will not cover all the verses. So I've just summarized some of these points. So in 1152, Krishna declares, now he finally shows his two-arm form to Arjuna, and he tells Arjuna, This form you are seeing, Arjuna, this two-arm form of mine, which you have seen all the while, and now that you're seeing again, right? Now that the difference is last time there was no knowledge, but now the knowledge is revealed. And together with that, you're seeing this two-arm form. And he says, this two-arm form is Sudurdasham. Sudurdarsham. Sudurdarsham means it is very, very rare. Durdarsham, very rare. And not just Durdarsham, Sudurdarsham. That means very, very rare. This idam rupam, this rupam that you're seeing now is very rare, Arjuna, Krishna says. He says, even the devas are aspiring to see my two-arm form of, this is my original form, the two-arm form of the Supreme Lord. Because the devas are able to see Vishnu. They go to the Shweta Dweep and then they petition Lord Brahma, and together with all of them, they pray, and then Lord Vishnu in his Narayana four-arm form lying on the Ananta Sesh with Lakshmi Devi, they are able to see that form. But this form is extremely rare. That form of the four-arm form of Lord Narayana is within this material creation as well. But in the spiritual world, the original form of that Narayana is revealed over here. Even the devas are aspiring to see me. Naham vedair na tapasa na danena na ijjaya. So he's saying, Krishna is saying, this form of mine cannot be easily seen simply by understanding the Vedas. So na means no, naham vedair. Simply by understanding the Vedas, you cannot understand this special form of mine, Krishna is saying. And he also says, simply by doing austerities, na tapasya, by doing austerities also, you cannot understand this supreme form of mine. Because, the austerities are even lower, right? They're like the jnanis. So they are only attaining Brahman. They don't even understand the Bhagavan form of Vishnu. So what to speak of the very rare form of this Supreme Lord, Krishna. And Krishna saying, by charity, even by performing charity, so you cannot understand this form of mind that you're seeing by studying the Vedas, by performing austerities, by performing charities, or even by performing worship. Simply by worshipping, even you cannot understand this supreme form. So then how can we understand? Even by worship? What does that mean? So there is a very important criteria for someone to understand this two-armed form of the Swayam Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, Shama Sundara form. So this verse 1154, Krishna says, Bhaktya tu ananya ananyaya saksha, aham evam vido arjuna, jnatum drashtum cha tatvena, pravishtum cha parantapa. Translation, my dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service, ananya bhakti, right? Bhaktya tu ananya, only by undivided pure devotion, saksha, can I be understood as I am. Standing sakya, that means saksha right in front of me like this. You can only understand me. Someone can only see me like this, right in front of you, standing in this way, in this form, only by pure devotion, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So the word got cut off. And finally, he gives this last verse of this chapter. So 1155, this is a very important chapter. This is a very, very important verse because this verse is considered, if at all there is one verse, if we have no time to read the Bhagavad Gita, or if we have no time, or we don't have time to memorize any of the verses of the Bhagavad Gita, if at all we can remember one verse of the Bhagavad Gita, this is that verse. So it's not I'm saying, it's Acharyas have said this. So therefore, it's considered as all the verses in Bhagavad Gita are important. But this verse is like the seed, the bijam. It's like this, from this one verse, every other verse in the Bhagavad Gita sprang up. So it's called the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. So what is this verse? Okay, let's recite. Mat karma krin mat paramo mat bhaktaha sangavarjitaha nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yasamam eti pandava. What it means? Let's understand the meaning very nicely. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, right? Mat bhakta, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities. That means this is now pure devotional service. What is this pure devotional service? Pure devotional service means free from fruitive activity. That means the person doesn't want any type of gain. He's not interested in gains or profits. That is fruitive activity. And also free from mental speculation, jnana. So it's not karma mishra bhakti. Karma means fruitive activities. Mishra means mixed friends. It's like karma mixed with bhakti. No, it's not karma mishra bhakti. We don't want that. It's not jnana mishra bhakti. That means speculating, thinking, is it this, is it that, looking further. Yes, I've read all these things, but maybe it's something further. So like that. So it's jnana mishra bhakti. There is devotion, some devotion, but it's also due to attachment to the knowledge also. So the focus should not be the knowledge. The focus should be Krishna, devotion to Krishna. The knowledge is supplementary, complementary and supplementary. It's part of bhakti, but it's basically for the purpose of understanding the goal, which is Krishna. So that is pure devotional service. So, my dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me. What does that mean? That means this person has dedicated his life for Krishna's benefit, for Krishna's pleasure. So who are the people who work for him? Like, for example, Arjuna. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, do this battle for me. I have this mission, you be my instrument. So like that, what other things are Krishna's work? So that we will understand later in chapter 12. What is Krishna's desire within this for all of us? What Krishna wants us to do, right? So we already know some of that answer from some hints given in the previous chapters, but more specifically, he will tell us in chapter 12. Okay? He who works for me, what else? He who makes me the supreme goal of his life. So that means a yogi, right? One who is fully focused on attaining the Supreme Lord. That means in this life, I want to end this life and go back to Krishna. Someone who thinks like that. Okay? And who is friendly to every living being. That means someone who has already understood the Paramatma. That means he understands that there is God in every living entity. Paramatma, in the form of Paramatma, he is in everywhere. So therefore, out of respect for the Paramatma, he also understands that all living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. So therefore, there is no enmity within that person. That person no longer has dualities in his mind. Duality means likes and dislikes. So he sees everybody with equal vision. So in later chapters, we will understand. A bit of that was mentioned in chapter 2. Sthita prajna. The sthita prajna sees everybody as in an equal vision. Again, this point will be raised in another chapter later, but here the summary is given. Who is friendly to every living being? Why? Because he sees them all equally. Enemy, friend, hot, cold, all situations he sees equally. So to such a person, he certainly comes to me. But this is very advanced devotional service. This is very advanced understanding of bhakti yoga. So we cannot straight away come to that position of this understanding. It takes step by step, right? And that will be described later in chapter 12, the next chapter. He will give us the way and practical means on how to achieve this. Previously in chapter 10 and chapter 9, some practical aspects were given already. Remember, Krishna says to Arjuna, whatever you do, offer to me. Patram, phalam, pushpam, toyam. Offer me fruit, flower, water. So that was already mentioned in chapter 9. But those were details. So in chapter 12, Krishna gives the stages of bhakti so that we can slowly come to this platform. Right? He certainly comes to me. So this is, as I mentioned, the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So I want to finish with a story here. This is reinforcing the concept which we talked about in this chapter. How the Virat Rupa, in this chapter, Krishna showed his Vishvarupa. It's the same thing. I use the words interchangeably. Virat Rupa and Vishvarupa is the same. Okay. Sometimes you say Vishva, sometimes you say Virat. So in this chapter, Krishna shows his universal form. Now, why is this important? It's important because in Kali Yuga, there are many people who claim that they are also God. There are people who say, they call themselves Bhagavan. So I am God, you are God, like that. There are some people who say this. So there's a very easy test for this. So that test is given in the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is saying, if someone claims he is God, very simple, ask that person, because Arjuna heard about God. People will speak, I'm God, I'm God. Arjuna also heard. Of course, he believed Krishna, but for the benefit of everybody in Kali Yuga, Arjuna also asked Krishna, please, can you show me? So therefore, someone who claims he's Bhagavan should be able to show his Vishvarupa. So we just have to ask that person, okay, you claim you're Bhagavan, okay, never mind, all that you're saying is wonderful, but can you please show me your Vishvarupa? So if sometimes this question was asked to some people who claim like that, so they will say, oh, I can show you, but you don't have the eyes to see. But then Arjuna also didn't have the eyes to see. But if Krishna wanted to show, Krishna can give that eyes to Arjuna to see, isn't it? So therefore, we can also say the same. So then someone may say, oh, okay, so like that, anyway, the conversation may go on and on. But the point here is the Vishvarupa darshan is important as one of the evidences to accept someone is God. But Krishna showed it. You see, even before this, Krishna showed this entire universe to one person. One person was able to see this also before. Not the same type of horrible form, but this person was able to see the entire Brahmanda, the entire universe within this Krishna. So I'm referring to this pastime, the Brahmanda pastime, when Krishna was a small child, when Krishna was a baby, a toddler, he was able to walk, crawl, or walk. He was able to walk barely, right? About 2 years like this, 2 to 3 years. Mother Yashoda, she was she was always careful for baby Krishna. So she will tell, oh, Balaram was the elder brother of Krishna. So he will say, please take care of your brother. Anything naughty he does, anything he shouldn't be doing, please stop him or you come and tell me. So then one day, Balaram, he saw Krishna eating dust, eating earth. Sometimes small children, if you don't watch them, they like to take everything and put in their mouth, isn't it? So when Krishna was crawling on the ground, he took some pieces of earth from the ground and apparently he put in his mouth. So Balaram saw this, and then Balaram was also a small boy at that time, a bit older than Krishna, but he was small, and he was also afraid Mother Yashoda will scold him. So Balaram was telling Krishna, hey, why are you doing this? I'm supposed to take care of you, and now I'm going to get in trouble. So please, spit it out. But Krishna didn't want to spit it out. So then Balaram don't know what to do. So he went to Mother Yashoda and then told Mother Yashoda, Mother, you told me to, Maya, you told me to take care of Krishna. But I tried my best. I tried my best, but Krishna doesn't want to listen to me. And then Mother Yashoda, hold on, Balaram, calm down. What happened? What actually happened? Then Balaram told, he ate some dirt. He took some dirt from the ground and he just put it in his mouth. And now he's going to get a stomach ache and everybody will blame me. So then, no, okay, don't worry, Balaram. So like that. So then Mother Yashoda went to baby Krishna. Then she took Krishna and Krishna became scared. But then Mother Yashoda said, no, you tell me, these boys are telling me, your elder brother is telling you ate dirt. And then Krishna shook his head, no. But he kept his mouth closed. And then Mother Yashoda said, can you show me your mouth? If it's true that you didn't, if you want me to believe you, you open your mouth and show me, I want to see. So Krishna then opened his mouth and Mother Yashoda looked inside Krishna's mouth. So when she looked inside Krishna's mouth, she became astonished because when she saw within Krishna's mouth, she saw the entire creation, not only the entire material creation, she even saw the spiritual creation. So that was even greater vision, Mother Yashoda. She was able to see. So what she saw the entire spiritual material creation, and then within that creation, she saw Gokul, the village that within the mouth of Krishna, she saw that Gokul village, and within that village, in the mouth of Krishna, she saw herself looking at Krishna and Krishna opening his mouth, and within that again, he's able to see. So it's like a vision within a vision within a vision. So that's how Mother Yashoda got bewildered completely. Huh? And like that, she was just staring, transfixed. So then Krishna quickly closed his mouth, and then he brought his Yogamaya potency. Yogamaya is his illusory potency to make Mother Yashoda forget. Because that's not the relationship Krishna wanted to enjoy with Mother Yashoda. If Mother Yashoda understands Krishna is God, she won't treat him like a baby, right? And that kind of loving motherly relationship, Krishna wanted to enjoy that rasa. So he made Mother Yashoda forget. So therefore, we come back to this chapter. This is Vishvarupa chapter, where Krishna shows this universal form. But at the same time, we have this incident where Krishna is so scared. This entire Vishvarupa in the form is within Krishna, but Krishna is so scared of a simple mother, a simple elderly mother in the, not elderly, middle-aged mother in a village woman, not just like that. And here we see this picture when Krishna did some naughty things, he became naughty and he took a stone and threw it on the pot of yogurt and milk, which Mother Yashoda kept. So he broke them and then he ran away. Not only he ran away, he gave all these things to all the monkeys. He invited all the monkeys and he fed all the monkeys. So then Mother Yashoda thought, no, this is naughty. You cannot do like this. So she is a mother and she took her job seriously. As a mother, I need to teach you what is right and what is wrong. So she went running after Krishna. And then finally, and it's described by the Acharyas, and it's also described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishna was actually scared. He was actually scared and he was running away and he was crying and tears were coming in his eyes, and the kajal which was in his eyes was smeared because he was, and he was breathing fast. When children are crying, they are breathing fast. So this is so amazing and wonderful. Therefore, many poetry was written describing this. What wonderful, what amazing thing that fear of the entire fear personified is scared of Krishna, because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. But here Krishna is scared of Mother Yashoda. So this is the wonderful secret of bhakti yoga, the wonderful secret of bhakti. So therefore they say, Yenna Daivam Sedanal Yashoda. What great austerities you have done, Yashoda, that you are able to take that Parabrahman himself and give him milk and treat him like your small child. So this is the amazing splendor of bhakti, which we will hear about more in chapter 12. Okay. So now it is 10:30. We are done already. So let's just talk about the takeaways. So today's takeaway is Bhagavan can show universal form by divine vision. So if anyone claims one is a Bhagavan, we request them to kindly show the universal form. And Krishna showed that to prove that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all the devas were able to see also. And everybody was able to understand this. I mean, the heavenly beings. Swayam Krishna Rupa is very rare. Another takeaway is the original form of God, original form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is two-arm form. Even in Christianity, they say it, isn't it? We human beings are made after the image of God, right? So the image of God is two arms, two hands. So that beautiful form of Shama Sundara Krishna, right, is actually the original form of the Supreme Lord. There are other verses to corroborate this. We won't go into that now. So this is based on the strength of the evidence of the Gita. And then, but to see this Swayam Rupa form, this original form of the Supreme Lord, it is Sudurdasham, very, very rare. But it can be attained and it can be understood only by Ananya Bhakti. So there is a process, there is one specific process which allows one to view and to understand this highest realization of God. So there is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. But within Bhagavan, there is that's Vishvarupa, there is four-arm Narayana form, and there is the two-arm Swayam Rupa form of Krishna. So these are the takeaways. So there was one verse within this chapter, specifically chapter 11:36, where Prabhupada, the translation goes like this. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name and glories, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. So, this was when Krishna was showing his Vishvarupa form, one of the prayers Arjuna was giving. So this was before the Kala Rupa was shown. So he's seeing the beautiful, glorious form. And then he says, O master of the senses, O Hrishikesha, the world becomes joyful simply upon hearing your name and glories and pastimes, simply by hearing about your Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, your name, form, glories, and pastimes. So this is another indication about the very, very important aspect of chanting, kirtanam, right? So chanting in japa or chanting in kirtan. You can see here nice images. So everybody is enjoying kirtan, right? So it's automatic, easy for everybody to accept it. So let us all chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra together 3 times. We will start with the Panchatattva mantra here. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let us all take this chanting of the holy name seriously and also practice this Bhakti Yoga. I hope that all of you, by the blessings of Sri Krishna, we can all chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day. Okay, so with that, I open for any questions from anybody. I will pause. I will stop the recording. Okay, if there are no questions, since we finished just on time, okay, about 5 minutes, I wanted to just take a bit of your time just to introduce to you the Srimad Bhagavatam. This Srimad Bhagavatam is, it's like if Bhagavad Gita is Krishna speaking, so Krishna himself talks, that is Bhagavad Gita, Song of God. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is all about God. It's all about Krishna. So we have a scripture where Krishna gives us instructions, and we also have a scripture where everything we want to know about that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's 12 cantos, it's 18 books actually, and it's very, very detailed. So just introducing this, we will talk more about it another time. So we also have the Gita kit. So you can purchase this Gita kit. And remember, there is a quiz after this. I will post the quiz. And this is the map to our temple. Before I'm going through, I just want to, oh, okay, it's done already. So it's done. Okay, so thank you very much for your time and attention. And we will see you all tomorrow. All right, we will go to chapter 12 tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna to everyone.